personally, when I find things need to be done a little bit more deeply, it's getting to that regular service time, I'm perfectly happy to take my bike to the local service centre and hand it over to those guys who know how to do it. But I think it's about knowing when it's ready, when it needs to have that service, how often you need to do it. And if you do want to know how to do it a bit more yourself, what should you be looking for?
Yeah, there's people out there that will be really happy doing quite a lot of mechanics on their bikes, and there's some that just want to hand it over to the bike shop, to the service centre, and then get it back feeling fresh. One of the areas that gets the most use, most abuse, and how many times have you been on a ride and somebody goes, oh, my gears aren't working well. So the most common reason for gears not shifting as they should is bad cable tension. How many times have you been on a ride when someone's got that and it's just not quite going? So the barrel roll adjuster is part of the shifter, and you can use it just to add tension to the cable or take tension away. So adding tension is going to make it shift up into the easier gears, and taking tension away is going to make it fall down into the harder gears more easily. So that's your first point of call, and you can do that on trail, and that will 9 times out of 10 sweeten someone's gears straight away.
So can you always sort out your gears just using the barrel roll adjuster?
No, sadly not, otherwise that'd be fantastic, wouldn't it? If the barrel roll adjuster and adding tension or taking tension away hasn't fixed it, then that's when we'd start to look at replacing cables. So you've got an inner and an outer cable. Obviously the inner is sitting inside. So when you press on your shifter, that's pulling the inner cable or releasing it, and that's what's causing your derailleur to move and to shift. So as those get worn, and over time, grime can get in there and friction starts to build up, and that will affect the shifting performance. So then by replacing the inner and the outer cable, we can get a much smoother shift, and suddenly your shifter will feel really fresh again. If the barrel roll adjuster isn't your problem, then it maybe, like we were saying before, the drivetrain is just worn. So the chain is stretched, your cassette is scooped out, everything's just a little bit worn and a bit tired. That's when we can start to replace things, and a new cassette, new chain, and new chainring, suddenly that whole system is going to be working nice and sweet as it should.
Cool, so you've got my head around the drivetrain area. What else in general do I need to know about maintaining my bike?
I think my top tip is keep an eye on your tyres. So the tyre wear, it affects the grip you're going to get on trail, but it also affects braking performance as well. So keeping an eye on the pressure and tyre pressure. A lot of people run too low, and you're increasing that wear tenfold. You're really wearing them out if they're super soft all the time. And every time you corner, if it's too soft, too lower pressure, that tyre isn't actually standing up particularly nicely to get the maximum grip. Topping up the sealant in the wheels, just keeping that at a really sort of periodic top up.
So we're talking tubeless here, obviously.
Yeah, tubeless, come on. Yeah, definitely. I mean, there are still plenty of people running tubes, and in an emergency, fantastic, but
that's it.
A tubeless setup saves you a lot of headache on trail.
How do you keep an eye on the sealant when you can't see it?
So you can hear it, so you know if it's still, if you've got too much in there, it can get really sloshy. Also, sometimes water can get in there, so that will dilute it. So every now and again, periodically, you can take just get your tyre off, make sure. If your tyres have gone flat, you can feel around. Sometimes you get those hard lumps where the sealant's kind of formed one big chunk, but just have a feel, have a listen, and if you're not sure, if it's been 3 months or so, then just peel that tyre bead off, have a look inside, reseat and seal up again.
Excellent, got it.
Your bolts are going to come loose. Simple torque wrench, check that they're all still nice and tight, that everything that should move does move, and everything that shouldn't move doesn't move.
Sounds good, brilliant. Thank you so much. I'm still just gonna hand my bike over to the service centre for them to do it for me. But no, it's been really informative. Shall we go and get coffee?
I think it's about time.